You know, I said that I only use this angle for special occasions, but I think I'm more comfortable this way because bed. But I don't know, guys. What do you think? To my one viewer there, my one consistent viewer who still happens to watch my video. I know you're a bot most likely, but what do you think? I'm using my lighting here like a lamp. I'm just bouncing it off. I know it looks like I'm being taken by something, like I'm being abducted, but I don't really mind. Okay. Oh man, that's bright. It's so bright. There we go. Okay, guys. I know this is like an angle which is supposed to be some sort of story time. This is the vibe that I'm getting looking at myself right now. But today's video is about caring. I seem to be very sentimental. I've tackled this quite a lot with my friends recently. They said it's my nature, and I've mentioned it in my last video. It's just me, and I can't treat it with some sort of quick fix. To see people just let go of things and not care, I know this is very stupid of me as someone who has read The Art of Not Giving a Fuck and not be able to apply, because Mark Manson will be probably screaming at me right now for reading the entire book and not applying what was in the book. But I'm trying my best. But there's just this thing na I care like a lot. Like I value things that I have, perhaps will have, like a lot. And I don't think it's something that can exactly be measured. I'm not claiming that I care or value things more than your average person, but from my perspective, I do feel that I am affected I'm affected more than your usual person. And whether or not that's something to take pride in, or it's a problem that actually is detrimental to the things that I do, is pretty much up for debate. And I'm actually conflicted if it's something that I should be toning down, or should I just let it be and look into workarounds and maintenance. Because I've discussed it with a friend of mine recently. This is actually pretty relevant. I'm going to go into that. Wherein sometimes you just can't get rid of yourself. I know this is pretty cliche, but if this is me, then I am honestly a huge pain to be around. And I know this is not self-deprecation, because there are times where I literally can't stand myself. Why do I care? Why do I value things? And in the last video, why the heck do I still celebrate something that is supposed to be celebrated by two people, and yet I celebrate it myself? And I'd argue, although very in a flawed manner, that it's because it matters to me. Still, a lot. And it's something from the past. It's something that it's done. It's something that I can't bring back. Yes, it is something I can commemorate, but of course the usual person would just tell to me that instead of clinging on to what was and what you had and looking back with a smile, and it's good to look back with a smile and appreciate the things that were, but don't let it consume your now and distract you from what is. I know that. Okay, but that's like a common theme in this channel. I know a lot of things, and yet I'm very stupid. I cannot understand them as well as I'd like to. I know them, but when it comes to applying them in what I should do and how I should think, it's something that is up for me to improve on, especially in the next months or years. I hope in the next few months. This is not something that should be kept up for long. Anyways, back to the discussion me and my friend had. It's okay to care, in the sense that, okay, here we have the situation. You try to imagine someone who in their entire life really values connection and friendship. Like it doesn't have to be a friendship. It could be any form of connection, whether it be between schoolmates, classmates, parents, intimate relationships, anything. They just really value it. When they have it, they make sure they tend to it like it's their own garden of or some sort, or whatever analysis or metaphor that I can come up with. And when you realize that not all people are like that some people can completely just detach themselves from something that really mattered to them with a snap, or not really necessarily a snap, that's an over exaggeration, but they have a way easier time not really devaluing, but detaching themselves from things that matter to them a lot. And of course, as someone who has been on the opposite side of that belief my entire life, or at least most of my life, when you see something that's abnormal for you, I wouldn't necessarily say abnormal, but something that's pretty different and a foreign behavior to show, like to do, like an action to do, and you see someone do it as if it's normal, okay? When you take something that's abnormal and they do it as if it's normal, of course I'm at least shocked. Okay, and with in a discussion with my friend recently showed that I'm not alone. Because why do people not care? And to some extent that is a terribly inaccurate question, but it more or less verbalizes what I'm trying to say, because I'm having trouble trying to really interpret what it is. But how can people de-care? It's not even a word, detach. Because at one point, they're really into this thing, and now that that thing's over, they just move on to the next thing. And I can't understand. But the thing is, like another one of my friends did say, is that sometimes we just never understand people, but we can try to see where they're coming from. And he does make a good point. That's a very good statement. Well, not really statement, but I don't know what it is, a quote, yeah? I can try my best to understand their circumstances, their experience, their perspectives, their mindsets, their worldviews, or whatever. I can literally decrypt and analyze their entire backstory in lore and understand what led them to believe that, or what led to that behavior. And there's so much we can do when trying to put ourselves in other people's shoes. And especially when it comes to these situations where it's a principle, not really a principle, but like a behavior that's a total polar opposite of what you do, then it becomes far more difficult. Because why do I care about the past? A lot. And of course, when you come across someone who doesn't care about what was a lot, then how? Like, of course, you see very black and white approaches to something, and in their own regard, they both have their own advantages and disadvantages. And it puts me in a pinch, because if some people can do that easily, of course this doesn't apply to this, it also applies to skills, talents, or whatever. Some people are just naturally good at things than other people, but I just never expected that it applies to things like values. I'm not really sure, because bro, my laptop is opening. Okay, I value this a lot. Wait, shit, that's too high. I value these things a lot, okay? I value memories. I value photos. And, I can't let go of this that easily. These are just photos and it matters that much to me. What if we talk about people? Like, messages, even messages, if there was a competition for relapsing and looking back, I'd probably get a medal. But bro, if there was a PhD in reminiscing and ruminating, then I'd probably have, I don't know what I was going for with that statement, but the point is there. It's just, I don't get it. Is it bad that I value things that much? Is it bad that I can't move on? Is it bad that I cling? Like, okay, It just matters, man. Like, look at the fuck. This is me. Like, man. Oh my gosh, I look so stupid here. What the fuck am I doing here? Yeah, man. Like, okay, let's go here. This is Ken. You know, we don't talk much these days, but this dude has helped me a lot, and I just don't get how some people, you know, I'm not specifically targeting specific people here, okay? But I've seen them, I've heard stories about them, and I've seen them firsthand. I've heard of them secondhand. Is that a word? Is that a thing? Wherein they can spend memories and live out experiences with you, whether it's their, you know, things that matter. And then when connection gets cut off, when things get rough, you know, when the boat starts to sink, they're willing to jump off like nothing. Because one of my main principles is, when you're a friend, when you're an acquaintance, when you help me a lot, and if you ask for it, I'd actually consider dying for you. Okay, I know it sounds wrong. I know it's like, with all that self-respect BS that we hear, like, in the end of the day, all we have is ourselves. But why? You know, all that bonds thing that we see in media, anime, whatever. I know it's cliche. I know it's pretty, you know, for a lack of a better word, cringe. But why do people not care? Okay, some people do. I value them. But how can some people not care? Or most of the times I tried approaching this because I can't understand why others think the way they do. Perhaps something is wrong with me. So I started approaching the problem, you know, from an internal to outward approach or view. Why do I value things too much? Is it that, do people just not care, or I just care too much? What is the problem here exactly? I've seen it. I've seen tweets. I've seen posts. I've seen videos. There are just some people who were, you know, whether it was their choice or not, okay, some people have unfortunate circumstances which led them to detach like it's second nature. Nothing wrong with that. It's just sometimes I feel jealous of, you know, of them, because they get to focus on what is and what will be. When things go south between two friends, and you know that there are some people who are willing to not even mend it and just move on because we can quote unquote find better people, I'd fight for the people around me. And I don't know if that's right anymore, like in today's world at least. The whole catch a bullet type of shit that we hear, I know it's, you know, playing the martyr and the hero and all that stuff, but I don't know, is that wrong? This is like a question for my future self as well, because what do you guys think, for like the 1-2 viewers that are most likely bots who are watching this video? Value, because I want to let go of what was. You know, I'm not, again, necessarily talking about people here. I'm literally talking about my chronic illness of living my days in the past, or at least most of my days in the past, because it's being magnified recently. It's becoming an obstacle, which of course signals that to some extent it is a problem when done in excess. But you know, everyone knows that it's the whole too much of anything is bad. But I just feel like if I get rid of it, I get rid of it entirely, or I strike for a balance if that's even possible, or I just stick with it and just accept the fact that I am the guy who, despite talks about moving forward and has progress as his top 5 value, looks back more than your average person. You know, because, you know, never look back, you know. Dude, I can't. People like Rainier, shout out to you again, Rainier. Look forward. Just look forward. Just, okay, it wasn't a good year. You know, hypothetically, let's say it wasn't a good year. You know, just live out the next year better. I get that. when we're at our lowest, the direction is only up. But I don't know. I just wish I could look forward. Not because I want to, but because I know that all this looking back will strain my neck eventually. I know, it's a metaphor that I came up with this one. Okay, anyways. Yeah, this video is too long again, man. Like, just thank you guys for watching. Peace, you know. Like, okay, how do I make this look cool? Like, no, peace. Like, peace, yeah, peace. Peace.